Dit weekend 14 en 15 juni, vrijdag en zaterdag, organiseert het ministerie van Landbouw, Veeteelt en Visserij de Agro Exhibition. En het is dus een Samap samenwerking. Voor zij die bekend zijn met Samara, we praten over de Suriname Agriculture Market Access Project. En ja, in de afgelopen bijna 6 jaar is Samap in Suriname geweest. Om toch wel vanuit de Verenigde Naties dergelijke projecten uit te voeren. En ja, men komt toch aan het eind van Samap in Suriname. December is de laatste maand van Samap in Suriname. En in de studio hebben we de Chief Technical Advisor van de UN, de voedselorganisatie bij de VN. En hij is ook nog de project manager van Samap. En dat is dus de heer Erik Sibalos. Good morning, sir. Welcome in MMANTEN TAKI.
Good morning, and thank you for having me in your program, and good morning to all your audience.
Yes, Samap has been in Suriname for almost 6 years, going back to 2018. You were at the beginning. Now we are slowly coming to the end of Samap in Suriname. December will be the last month. But looking back at the 6 years in Suriname, Mr. Chebalas, how would you say, if you make an evaluation, how would you say these years were?
There have been very productive years. It's been a very long and slow process, not easy for all of the partners that implemented the project. The collaboration, strong collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture, the resources of the EU, the European Union, and FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization, had made us an immense effort to build the capacities of the agriculture sector in Suriname to do 3 important things: to produce more in more quantity, to produce better, good quality, and to open market access opportunities. On those 3 fronts, the project has made significant progress. We have more than 200 projects in all Suriname supported by investments of Samap on equipment, services, tools for agriculture production, technology and innovation that have been increasing the potential of the production capacity of small farmers, small agro-businesses, cooperatives, from the hinterland to the coastline. Moreover, many of these projects have been working in partnership with agro-processing agro-businesses. Therefore, it's not only about the quantity of fresh products, but also adding value to the products to have nice juices, nice sauce, chips, snacks, flour, many sub-products that have better opportunities for exports. With the project, we supported a number of participation in agro-exhibitions abroad. Not long ago in Barbados, a delegation of Suriname participated with the support of Samap. Almost 10 agro-businesses with export potential were participating with the resources of Samap, and they reported recently that at least half of them have made business deals in Barbados to open the export opportunities to that market. These are small agro-businesses that have been working hard in that regard. And not only that is the result of our work. An important component was to prepare the transition to a moment where Samap will not be there and to create sustainability. That's why we work in developing 3 value chain platforms, which are public-private partnerships where the government entities and institutions work together with producers, with processors, exporters, other businesses to have one single goal. And to work together towards that single goal and develop a plan to get there and organize themselves. These platforms have their own self-organization, are elected by the people, the representatives to their steering committees and their boards, and they are now executing those plans to try to address the key problems in their sectors, and doing it through dialogue, through cooperation, through coordination and collaboration. So these 5 years that have passed very quickly, we see them as very fruitful. Of course, there are many other things that could have been done, and the challenge and the how big the problems in the country are even beyond what Samap can do alone. But we are very hopeful that the strength of the institutions that we supported will take it over from now. Many people ask us what will happen after Samap, and my answer to all of them is Samap will continue alive. It will continue alive in the hard commitment and hard work of all of these stakeholders that have been working with us in the past 5 years.
Yes. You talked about one of the goals of Samap was that there was an increase in export of products. Have we seen that in the recent years? Could you say that there was a really increase in farmers exporting their products to the Caribbean unions, to the European Union?
Well, the objective of the project was to build the capacities for the businesses to be able to do that. The project doesn't do the exports. The exports are done by the companies, by the farmers, by the partnerships. What we can say is that Samap has increased the capacity of many of these cooperatives, agro-businesses, and farmers that have that potential. They are already participating in export markets. I mentioned the example of Barbados. That is the result of 3 years working hardly with the Ministry of Agriculture in order to prepare the capacity of our producers to produce in quantity and quality to meet the standards. But at the other end, there are also restrictions or standards that have to be met in the other recipient country. And those are things that this project has supported through the Ministry of Agriculture. So our project was about enabling the conditions so when the farmers and the producers and the exporters are ready, can take advantage of those. The project doesn't involve in making the business deals. We connect the dots, and we connect the buyers with the suppliers. In the Netherlands, we have open opportunities for a number of our products and our projects that we are supporting in niche markets through capacity building and training, prepare the businesses to be ready for export. We have more than 10 businesses that are already exporting to the Netherlands in their new projects, new niche markets, products that Suriname was once, a long time ago, a very pioneer, for example, cacao and chocolate bars. People forgot that Suriname was a lead country in the production, but over time it almost disappeared. Now it's back in business, and we have supported couple of projects, small agro-businesses that are resuming exports and opening new opportunities. Trade has increased with French Guiana. Small farmers from the hinterland in particular are increasing their production and increasing the volume of trade with French Guiana. The Caribbean region has open opportunities with Barbados and others in the region. So we see a process that is taking a little bit of a speed, little by little. Whether that has changed the statistics of the country in a large scale is hard to say, and it's too early to say. This is something that we will see coming up later, little by little, but we are very confident that the capacities that we have enabled and the support that we have provided are in the right direction.
Okay. Mr. Shabalos, you talked about after Samap after the project will end in Suriname, it is important that everything continues. But over the past 5 years, we could say you've seen some challenges that need to be tackled. If looking at those 5 years, looking at the future, I mean, what are the challenges that we need to address going on further to, as you say, meet the export needs, the export standards, or even just locally to have a better product?
There are many, but the more important is to be committed and consistent. That means that those that have initiated a process, an investment, they have not to be fooled or not to be excited by just one opportunity where there is a buyer and they have the opportunity to sell more, but the moment the buyer tells you, can you provide me 3 containers weekly of your product, and then our farmers, producers are not ready to do that. So it requires a constant effort, a permanent effort to be very consistent with what they are doing. You can open many market opportunities, but you can lose them very easily. There is a strong competition with other countries, a strong competition with other products, and that means that you have to be ahead of the others, always innovating, always being ahead of the others. But the more important ingredient, in my view, is the cooperation and collaboration. With Samap, we promoted the concept of salmon working together, because nobody can do it alone. It's impossible to reach markets alone. You need to build the scale together. The farmers, not one single farmer can produce all the goods that are demanded in a market. They need to work together with other farmers to make it a bigger scale, to have more of those. But also they need to talk to each other, work together in order to observe the standards. If one farmer starts to put more pesticides, more chemicals in their product, it's affecting the other farmer that was doing the right thing. If you don't work together, you will not have the opportunity to benefit from the markets. So I believe that the challenge is big, but it requires this commitment of each of the stakeholders, the private sector, but also the public sector. Continue doing the regulations, the policies, the rules that are needed to promote further investment, to support the agriculture sector with access to finance, and to enable the access to knowledge and technical assistance that many farmers require in their fields. There are many things that Samap was not part of the objectives of Samap. For example, fixing these big agriculture fields that have water channels that always are flooding and so on. That's infrastructure. So it's not only the role of the Ministry of Agriculture, but public works and others have to come in together. We call that a public-private partnership, where if the goals are clear ahead, they can do it. We built the conditions towards that, and we believe that if Suriname wants to move to the next level, they will keep moving forward. We hear everywhere, at least those that were working directly with us, that they will not give up and they will continue in that direction.
Yeah. And is that talking about having a union between farmers, if we talk about especially the quality of the product, is that one of the problems that we have right now exporting to the Europe? We know that Europe has high standards when it comes to food safety and also food products, and also taking that into account, does Suriname have the potential, because we hear that a lot even from government, we have specialists saying that Suriname has the potential to provide the Caribbean with food security?
The potential is there. As I said, what the country needs to build is the capacity to do it consistently. consistently produce the quantities that are needed, consistently produce the quality of the same product. Let me give you one example. We were in Barbados recently, and we brought the products from Suriname. The products have a very good quality. The buyers in Barbados, the public, were amazed by the taste of some of these products. But then when they were looking at the label of the product, it was written in Dutch. The market does not speak Dutch. They speak English. So if you are an exporter, you need to adapt to the market that you are going. You cannot bring your products like you sell them here in Suriname, correct? Other consumers, they were looking for specific information of calories. Does this have many calories? What kind of ingredients are in the product? If the label doesn't have that information, it's not meeting the standards. You may have the best product, but because of those details, you can lose a market opportunity. Those are examples where Suriname has to make more efforts and be consistent across. It's not only one farmer that needs to change, it's all across. And the collaboration is important in that regard. Market opportunities in the Netherlands. Yes, that's right. It's possible, but meeting the standards is not always what happens. You had a situation with the exports of Sopropo some time ago. And until today, that has not been reestablished. We are working with the Ministry of Agriculture at the moment in a pilot project to try to address the structural problems on the production of Sopropo that had this issue of pests. And introducing an integrated system of management of the crops where the farmers have to commit discipline, compliance with the rules and the standards. Know when to apply pesticides, which quantities to apply, and how to manage that. We hope that at the end of the year, when the project will end, at least we would have contributed to this sector to improve meeting the standards of the EU to resume the exports of Sopropo. But again, this is the support of a project, but who has to change are the farmers, are the producers, and who have to support them and work with them is the government and the other institutions.
Yes. Some say, Mr. Shabalos, we should focus on maybe, if we're talking about exporting products, maybe just a few products and not have a diversity of 10. Why not focus on 3 and instead of having a diversity of 10? What is your opinion on that?
That's a strategy. Many countries do that. When you have a product that is unique, where you have a comparative advantage, then you take that opportunity and develop it to the very end. There are countries that are products that are grown only in 1 or 2 countries. That's really a blessing because your competition is less. But the truth is that the products that Suriname produces are also produced in many other countries. Therefore, what you need to be driven by is the market signals. And maybe your difference is in your quality and the story behind your products. A unique country with more than 93% of forest that still not exploited, natural products that are grown in the Amazons only. And who knows, you have here some special herbs or special trees in the forest that produce a substance that can resolve a problem in your health and so on. We need to explore more of those niche different markets. If we try to compete in sectors like cassava, I can put you the list of how many countries are doing cassava in the world competing for the same markets in Europe or in the US. So your comparative advantage is more small compared to the others. So the decision on how many products, which products, should be driven by understanding the market, by understanding your potential and your specificity. We are working with CITA very closely, the Suriname Investment Trade Agency, to guide the country through market intelligence, to know how markets are changing. The markets change every day. The supply and demand changes every day. And farmers have to have access to information so they can shift their production according to those opportunities. The challenge is not to do more of the same, is to do better the new things where you can have a comparative advantage.
Yes, no, that was at least the last 5 years in Suriname, Mr. Shabelos. We have an exhibition this weekend coming up, Friday and Saturday, the Agro exhibition. What is it all about?
Well, we have been talking about what Samap did, and perhaps for many people in your audience, they are still wondering, but how all of this translates, how it connects to me. So in order to do a very practical showcase, we decided to organize this agro exhibition and fair. It will be taking place on the 14th and 15th, this next Friday and Saturday at the Live Entertainment Center. It's free. Everyone is invited to come. There's no entrance fee. And you will have the opportunity there to see in person and directly where all the resources of Samap went. Because you will meet all these farmers, all these processors, all these producers that had been improving their production, the quality of their products, and some of them already exporting, others expanding in domestic markets. It will be your opportunity to taste, to buy their products, support them as well. And you will see also not only the producers, but the institutions that supported them. We invited the government institutions, our main partners, Ministry of Agriculture, that will talk about what are the services for the farmers, organizations like CELOS that do research and development, what they are doing to support the sector, the financial services, programs where the farmers can access to finance, to invest in agriculture, or organizations that are in charge of standards, what are the requirements. So in one single place, you will have the opportunity to see what we call the value chain. But it will not be enough if we don't do one more connection. You see, this week, the FAO and the world celebrates the International Food Safety Day. And that means we are promoting safety products for the population, right? They can be big and nice, but if they have lots of fertilizer, not so good. And in this opportunity, we invited the top 4 chefs of Suriname, and we asked them, we put them a challenge. We said to develop a new dish, not the traditional bami and nasi that are very nice, new product, with the products produced by the farmers to show the potential that Suriname has to produce high quality food that can compete in any restaurant in New York, in Europe, or wherever you want. So these 4 chefs will do a demonstration, a culinary demonstration, creating these new dishes. We will invite a jury to look, to test and see, yes, this is good, not so good, or what can be better. And it will be all integrated with the farmers and the processors and the chefs. You will be able to understand our concept from farm to fork. Where it started in the land, in far hinterland in Langitabiki, how it ends in your plate in a nice, delicious food that you can enjoy. So we want to invite your audience and all the public of Suriname to take the opportunity to celebrate with us the success of the hard work of all these farmers, processors, agro-businesses that are changing, transforming the agriculture sector in Suriname. It's just the beginning. And we hope that with our support, we help to move a little bit the car, and others will follow to move it further. So I hope and invite you and your crew and everyone else to join us. We are opening on Friday 14 at 3 o'clock. The doors are open for everyone. There is a special ceremony from 5 o'clock onwards with authorities joining as well. The EU will have its ambassador coming to Suriname to do remarks. And Saturday, the full day from 11 o'clock in the morning till 9 p.m., bring your bags, don't go to shop in the supermarket. You can shop at the agro exhibition.
Okay. Mr. Shabalos, thank you very much for coming to Suriname, for coming to the studio of MMANTEN TAKI, but also for the last 5 years in Suriname. Thank you very much for your hard work.
Thank you. Thank you to you.